me now invite General Zahidur to present.
At the outset, I would like to thank Army Commander and BC KDU for inviting me here to deliver my talk in this learned gathering. Initially, I thought that my talk will be out of track, putting on uniform. Probably I will talk something else which may not be liked by uniform personnel. But seeing the curricula of KDU, I am now confident that no, I am in the right place to talk on my subject. The SAARC perspective, you see, I am not expert on SAARC, but I can put forth some ideas on security issues. Things are changing. Many things are changing. Even all armies of South Asia now are transforming from one platform to another. Seeing the education curricula in KDU, it confirms this hypothesis that we are transforming to develop the human beings to a working force. This is also a greatest contribution that armed forces are doing in every army. Now, even I am a smoker. I don't find any smoker outside today. I was looking for a good space to smoke. The younger generation, they are not actually inclined to smoking even. So because of the technological advancement, this internet, Facebook, mobile, their perception is changing. We must understand their thinking, perception. People don't wage war. This young generation thinks something else now. And our political leaders, they understand their feelings. But even then, I find that our political leaders feel comfortable giving swords to generals instead of pen. After the end of Cold War era, we thought that our swords will become shorter. Rather, we find that it is becoming longer and longer. Defense expenditure after the end of Cold War era, even if you see the world defense expenditure, even in South Asia, it projects the realistic approach to our security issues. Now, even yesterday, you have seen that India has inducted a nuclear submarines. And our lecturer also said many things, invention of more lethal weapons. But I like that idea, changing the color of Sharia. That is a good idea, I think. Now, the realist people will say that this is the reality of the world. Threat is imminent, but I see the threat is perceived. But this is the reality in our South Asia region. When we face so many non-traditional issues, every day knocking our door, but we are more inclined to traditional security concern. Why is it happening so? I see in a different way. There are many issues have been identified by our academicians, intellectuals, but I see this point from a practitioner point of view. Since I had the opportunity to serve in Ministry of Defense as Joint Secretary, I had a lot of interaction with civil counterparts to how the decision-making process is going on in every country. I think it is the same because of the British rule, the same governance system that we have got after independence. So we have seen that in last in 3 decades, a lot of good and bold decisions taken by political leaders, but we hardly found implementation of those decisions. Now, many people will say that there are lack of political will, but I find that the political leaders, they actually understand the cry of the people of this region. That is the reason that they could take the positive decision in the SAARC forum. But why these are not implemented, I will say in a different way. That is that I find that there is a conceptual or organizational mismatch in dealing with our national security issues. You cannot really separate the security issues from your developmental issue. I'll come it later. To talk on conceptual mismatch, we find that our all teaching materials, our doctrines, our policy making process, related to your security are all in consonance with the Western literature. They have given a lot of literature, there is no doubt, but we have to understand the security concern of developed countries and developing countries are quite different. But we are blindly following the Western philosophy in solving our own problems. Now, since the realistic school of thought are more prominent in international system, so is in national security concern. So there is a problem in solving or implementing the decision taken in SAARC forum, because our psychology, our mindset, we want to win everywhere. The Honorable Minister has said one very important thing, that competitive advantage, or I put it in different term, the opportunity cost of a particular product. If Bangladesh has got the opportunity cost, say, in producing jute materials, then India should not compete with me. If India has got advantage in chemical, then I should not compete with. So these are the things that we must explore. But it doesn't happen so because of zero-sum game. And it happens because we want to win in every aspect, in every field. So lack of compromise is one of the factors that we couldn't see much success in SAARC forum. We must understand that competition is generated from this traditional notion of security concern. I would like to put forward one example. We all will understand that regional connectivity is one of the most important steps for the economic well-being of the people of this region. But when, say, the India and Bangladesh, the transit issue came in, there was a lot of academicians, intellectuals, and few political leaders also supported that issue. At that time I was in Ministry of Defense. I have seen closely how the outcome of that product is changed when it is processed through a security measures. From economic point of view, it is good, everybody appreciated, but from point of security, it was negated for unknown or perceived threat. A decision is changed. Still, there are a lot of hot debate is going on in Bangladesh. But in general, if our perception is changed, I think we can benefit from this connectivity. Now, to talk about some organizational mismatch, now who is going to implement the decision taken by the political government? It is bureaucracy, be it civil or military. But the state-centric governance that we got after the end of the British rule, it has not changed. This mechanism is totally state-oriented philosophy that is followed in our governance. But the Western government, they have changed their state-centric governance to people-centric in their domestic policy. Now, we are to change this state-centric philosophy to people-centric philosophy, especially in restructuring our bureaucracy, our governance. But it is a very difficult proposition. As Honorable Minister said that Sri Lanka aspires to become hub of knowledge and everybody. But in some other big state, if you go, they will talk about hub of power. So that is the difference. Looking through a prism, some good issue is seen as green by some smaller states, and the same issue is seen as red, probably some other states. So that is the mismatch that we see in solving the regional issue. Another problem is extreme nationalism. You know that the Rabindranath Tagore is actually, he is a poet, his two poems are national anthems of India and Bangladesh. He said, this extreme nationalism is a menace in Indian society. And that also hinders us to have an integrated region in South Asia. Now there are emerging concepts. We must change the concept of national interest and national security, how we should deal it. There are a lot of alternative options available. Our intellectuals, they have found out, they have delivered a lot of options. But I think those options to be explored. I will talk about only one concept, that is human security concept, as given by Mr. Mahabub ex-Foreign Minister of Pakistan, in 1994 UNDP report, which was further redefined by Dr. Amartya Sen of India. Now, that is more people-centric. I find that that solves the problem of third world countries. That settles all non-traditional issues. It doesn't discourage the traditional issues, but it settles all non-traditional issues. But the question is that, are we equipped with those knowledge? When I have done my PhD program, 91% of higher officials, they do not know what is the actual theme of human security concept. So that actually proves that our intellectuals giving a lot of alternative options to formulate our national security strategy, but there are other options, those are not explored. However, it's a short time, I cannot cover in detail. I would like to say one thing, that we need to change our perception. We have to change our mindset up. Now, how are we going to do it? That we must have a slogan that people should come first, not the state. But it is very really difficult to materialize, because restructuring bureaucracy or our existing decision-making process is very difficult. But we can educate through different forum, seminar, symposium, even establishing other SAARC university in South Asia. I think we can turn zero-sum game into win-win situation. Now, to talk about some way forward, I think once SAARC university is established, it can play an important role to popularize concept of human security. Extensive research to be done to nationalize or regionalize human security concept, though it is a subject of international system. Master degree program on human security under public administration or politics or governance or social science department to be introduced in all universities of South Asia. Bangladesh, University of Professional of Bangladesh, and I commanded one of the largest force, that is Bangladesh Ansar and BDP, a paramilitary force having a member of 6.6 million. In that academy, I have introduced this human security course as master degree program, and where the officers can have their MPhil and PhD. Now, I think the KDU is also another suitable platform to introduce this new concept. I think with that, the new generation will find some alternate option to be materialized to integrate South Asia as a whole. To conclude, I would like to say the motto of National Defense College of Bangladesh, security through knowledge. Through education, research, and innovative ideas, we can ensure security of every nation of South Asia with alternative options. I think time has come that we must adopt a policy or a decision-making process which addresses all the issues, not only the traditional one. I think the non-traditional security issues are more imminent, and that's to be addressed by our nation. And hopefully, in future, this concept will be more popularized, and army or armed forces are doing it gradually and slowly, and in future we will have a better integrated South Asia. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.